ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भगवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. सौभगग्रिवकौस्तुभम् श्रियान् पायिन्याक्षिप्त निकष अश्म उरसा उरसोल्लसत्. Translation.
The Lord had shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets, and all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustuba Mani pearl. And on the dark chest of the Lord, there are streaks named Shrivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. Purport. The curling hair on the shoulders of a lion always appears very, very beautiful. Similarly, the shoulders of the Lord were just like a lion's, and the necklaces and the garlands, along with the Kaustuba pearl necklace, combine to excel the beauty of a lion. The chest of the Lord is streaked with Shrivatsa lines, the sign of the goddess of fortune. Consequently, the Lord's chest excels the beauty of a tasting stone for gold. The black siliceous stone on which gold is rubbed to test its value always looks very beautiful, being streaked with gold lines. Yet the chest of the Lord excels even such a stone in its beauty. Hare Krishna.
The Lord is Sinhaskandha. Shoulders are that of like the lions. And of course, far more bigger, greater than the lion. But the comparison is given to something that we can relate to, right? So that is why it is considered to be. And then there is a description of Srivatsa. This we had seen yesterday. Text 15. Purare chaka sambigna valivalgu dalodaram pratisanga प्रतिसंग कामयाद्विश्वम नाभ्यावर्त गभीरया. Translation.
Prabhuji, I don't know. Somebody can please pick it up because I don't know.
The Lord's
I'm a little
abdomen is
confused.
beautiful due to three ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree. And when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and it again wishes to go back. Purport. The whole universe is born out of the lotus stem which sprouted from the navel of the Lord. Lord Brahma sat on the top of this lotus stem to create the whole universe. The navel of the Lord is so deep and coiling that it appears that the whole universe again wants to withdraw into the navel, being attracted by the Lord's beauty. The Lord's navel and the ripples on his belly always increase the beauty of his bodily features. The details of the bodily features of the Lord especially indicate the personality of Godhead. Impersonalists cannot appreciate the beautiful body of the Lord, which is described in these prayers by Lord Shiva. Although the impersonalists are always engaged in the worship of Lord Shiva, they are unable to understand the prayers offered by Lord Shiva to the bodily features of the Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is known as Shiva Virinchi Nutam, Bhagavatam 11.5.33. For he is always worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva.
Yeah. So now the abdomen of the Lord is beautiful due to three ripples of the flesh. Okay, so there is it's like the kanta of the Lord, so the abdomen of the Lord. And when he inhales and exhales, Pura Rechaka, we know Purak and Rechaka, we do Purak Rechaka Kumbhak. So Pura Rechaka, inhaling and exhaling, the beautiful, the movement of these three ripples appear extremely beautiful. And then there is the Padmanabha. Padmanabha is the coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe again wants to go, again wishes to go back to those to that beautiful lotus Padmanabha. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namo Pankajamalini. So Namo Pankajanabhaya means navel of the Lord is so deep and coiling that it appears that the whole universe again wants to withdraw within the navel, being attracted by Lord's extreme beauty. And all these beautiful bodily features are personally instructed by Lord Shiva to Prachetas in this Rudra Gita. And therefore, one should never mistake Lord to be impersonal. When Lord Shiva, he comes as Adi Shankara, he has a reason to spread the Mayavad. He has a reason to spread the impersonalistic philosophy. But that is not the reality. Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam bauddham uchyate. So Prabhupada says, although the impersonalists are always engaged in worship of Lord Shiva, look at Lord Shiva. He himself is glorifying the beautiful limbs of the Lord, which directly indicates a personality. And therefore, Lord is called as Shiva Viranchinutam, that the personality who is worshipped by everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Text 51. श्यामशृण्याद्दिनो रोचन् रोचिष्णु दुकल स्वर्णमेखलं समचारोङ्घ्रि जाङ्गः उरुनिम्नजानु सुदर्शनम्. Translation.
Translation: the lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. Purport: Lord Shiva is one of the 12 great authorities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. These authorities are Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Vyaski, or Sukdev Goswami, and Yamaraja. The impersonalists who generally worship Lord Shiva should learn of the transcendental Sachidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Here, Lord Shiva kindly describes the details of the Lord's bodily features. Thus, the impersonalist argument that the Lord has no form cannot be accepted under any circumstance. Hare Krishna.
Now, Lord Shiva is going, he has explained the skandha, Simha skandha. Then he has explained about the abdomen of the Lord. Then he has explained about the Nabhi of the Lord. Now he's explaining the Lord's waist is dark and covered with the yellow garments, Pitambar. The belt is bedecked with the golden embroidery. And then the lotus feet, the symmetrical lotus feet, the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, Lord's entire body appears to be extremely well built. Sudarshanam. Sudarshanam is very, very beautiful to look at, right? Sudarshanam. So, this is the scanning of the body of the Lord by the lovely eyes of Lord Shiva. Correct. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains Lord Shiva is one of the 12 Mahajans, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Kumara Kapilo Manu, Prahlado Janako Bhishmo, Balir Vayasakirvayam, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu. So, these top three Mahajans in Bhagavatam, they describe personality of Godhead for detailed understanding. We have seen Narada Muni describing personality to Dhruva Maharaj. Lord Brahma describes in so many places, including Brahma Samhita. And here Lord Shiva is describing the personality of Godhead to Prachetas. So the form of the Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha. And this form is very explained in great details so that one should not come under the false influence of Mayavad or impersonalism. That God is only void or he has no hands, no legs. Lord Shiva personally explaining how beautiful the personality of Godhead is. Text 52. Padasharat Padasharat Padma Palasharocisha Nakdyuk Pirangtror Antaragan Vidhunvata प्रदर्शयस्वीममपास्तसाध्वसं पदं गुरोर्मार्ग गुरुतमोजुषाम्. Translation.
My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipate all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as a spiritual master. But Lord Shiva has thus described the bodily features of the Lord authoritatively. Now he wants to see the lotus feet of the Lord. When a devotee wants to see the transcendental form of the Lord, he begins his meditation on the Lord's body by first looking at the feet of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the transcendental sound form of the Lord, and the 12 cantos are divided in accordance with the transcendental form of the Lord. The first and second cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam are called the two lotus feet of the Lord. It is therefore suggested by the Lord Shiva that one should first try to see the lotus feet of the Lord. This also means that if one is serious about reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he must begin by seriously studying the first and second cantos. The beauty of the lotus feet of the Lord is compared to the petals of the lotus flower which grows in the autumn season. By nature's law, in autumn, the dirty or muddy waters of rivers and lakes become very clean. At that time, lotus flowers growing in the lakes appear very bright and beautiful. The lotus flower itself is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the petals are compared to the nails of the feet of the Lord. The nails of the feet of the Lord are very bright, as Brahma Samhita testifies. Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala Vigrahasya, where every limb of the transcendental body of the Lord is made up of Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala. Thus, every limb is eternally bright. As sunshine dissipates the darkness of this material world, the effulgence emanating from the body of the Lord immediately dries up the darkness in the heart of the conditioned soul. In other words, everyone serious about understanding the transcendental science and seeing the transcendental form of the Lord must first of all attempt to see the lotus feet of the Lord by studying the first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. When one sees this lotus feet of the Lord, all kinds of doubts and fears within the heart are vanquished.
Yes. So it's a big purport. We'll read in section. Now Lord Shiva says, The two lotus feet, now finally Lord Shiva has reached, the description has reached to the lotus feet, are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows in the autumn season. Right? So there are different types of lotuses, and this is particularly about Aravinda. And the nails of your lotus feet emanate the great effulgence, and they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of the conditioned souls. Kindly reveal me these two lotus feet. Right. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that Lord Shiva here has authoritatively described the bodily features of the Supreme Lord. And now he wants to begin his meditation by requesting Lord to reveal the two lotus feet. And Srila Prabhupada says these two lotus feet are the first canto and second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam as a personality is non-different than the Supreme Lord. Padau yadiyau prathama dvitiyau tritiya turyau kathitau yad urau navis tatha panchama eva sashto. Okay, we have seen this verse, right? Bhujantaram dora yugalam tathantau kantastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukhara vindam dashamam prafullam ekadasho yasya lalata pattam shiropitu dvadashasyeva bhati. So these are the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam compared to the form of the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada says, if you want to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, you have to very deeply study first canto and second canto. Right. So, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have quite deeply studied first and second canto. We have completed third canto, and third and fourth canto are the thighs of the Supreme Lord, and the fifth canto is the navel. Right. So currently we are taking shelter of the thighs of the Supreme Lord. Sixth canto is the chest. Seventh and eighth are the two arms. Ninth is the throat. 10th canto is the Prafullam, the beautiful lotus face of the Lord. 11th canto is the Lalatapattam, forehead. And 12th canto is the head of the Supreme Lord. So this is how Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different than the Supreme Lord. And therefore, to take shelter of the Supreme Lord means Anushilanam. We have to conduct some activity, and that activity is activity of devotional service. Prabhupada says here that the Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala Vigrahasya, Ujjvala Vigraha, the form of the Lord is ever bright, and every limb of the Lord is very, very bright. Sadujjvala Vigrahasya. And just as the sunshine dissipates the darkness of the material world, similarly, this beautiful form of the Lord means also, see, the form of the Lord is beyond our reach. Of course, we have the temple deities which are non-different than the Lord. But what is in our reach is every day studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we are actually directly witnessing the personality of Godhead. And therefore, lecture is also called as darshan. Why? Pravachan is also called as darshan. Darshan means, of course, darshan means philosophy, but darshan also means direct darshan of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, please continue.
In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in order to make spiritual progress, one must become fearless. Abhayam sattva samsuddhi. Bhagavad Gita 16.1. Fearfulness is the result of material involvement. It is also said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, Bhayam dvitiya bhini vishata syat. Fearfulness is a creation of the bodily conception of life. As long as one is absorbed in the thought that he is the material body, he is fearful. And as soon as one is freed from this material conception, he becomes Brahmabhuta or self-realized and immediately becomes fearless. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Without being fearless, one cannot be joyful. The bhaktas, the devotees, are fearless and always joyful because they are constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. It is also said, Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Bhagavatam 1.2.20. By practicing Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, one becomes fearless and joyful. Unless one becomes fearless and joyful, he cannot understand the science of God. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. This word refers to those who are completely liberated from the fearfulness of this material world. When one is so liberated, he can really understand the transcendental feature of the form of the Lord. Lord Shiva therefore advises everyone to practice Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, as will be clear in the following verses. By doing so, one can become really liberated and enjoy blissful spiritual bliss. It is also stated, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The Lord is the supreme spiritual master, and the bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord is also a spiritual master. The Lord from within enlightens the devotee by the effulgence of the nails of his lotus feet, and his representative, the spiritual master, enlightens from without. Only by thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord and always taking the spiritual master's advice can one advance in spiritual life and understand Vedic knowledge. Yasya deve para bhaktir tatha deve tatha guru. Tasyaite kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. Thus, the Vedas, Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23, enjoin that for one who has unflinching faith in the lotus feet of the Lord, as well as in the spiritual master, the real import of Vedic knowledge can be revealed. Hare Krishna.
Now, Srila Prabhupada further explains, to make spiritual progress, one has to become fearless. So, and therefore, Bhagavad Gita describes Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. Abhayam, there has to be fearlessness. Okay, from the where the fear comes from? Bhayam Dvitiya Abhinivesha Yat Syat. When there is bodily conception of life, there is a fear. It's like, for example, you are just leading your normal, regular life, and somebody comes and says, "Hey, today you have seen, today evening there is this versus this match," and you click on the, move on, start the television, and then you get absorbed in the match. Abhinivesha. We have seen the right Ajnana, then Asakti, then there is Asmita, Ahankar, and Abhinivesha, the 5 ways of attachment. And then suddenly, when we become fearful, what happens to this over? What happens to that over? What will happen? Who will win? Who will lose? Come on, 2 hours back, you were completely fearless. Now you have become fearful. Right? So, fearful, when one becomes, the bodily conception of life leads to fearfulness. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshayasya. As long as one is absorbed in the thought of material body, he will be fearful. And as soon as one is freed from the material conception, he becomes Brahma Bhuta Pasannatma, na shochati, na kankshati, immediately becomes fearless, and thus he becomes Prasannatma. So, this has to be understood well. Prasannatma doesn't mean that devotee is undisturbed by all situations. No, that is not the point. The spiritual commitment of the devotee, even his material commitment of a devotee, is undisturbed by the happenings. Right? That is the real meaning. Like, for example, what is the example is? Example is Arjuna losing his son, Abhimanyu, such a great son, and Dronacharya losing his, the rogue son, and that is Ashwathama. But because Arjuna was spiritually attached to Abhimanyu, he was more vigorously fighting the battle. And because Dronacharya was materially attached to Ashwathama, he just left the weapons and died on the battlefield. This is the difference between the attachment, the material attachment and spiritual attachment. Although both the fathers suffered the pain of the loss of the, Abhimanyu and Ashwatthama. Right? Same event happened to both of them. In fact, it was 10x more for Arjuna, considering the character of Abhimanyu. But because of the consciousness of Arjuna, was Krishna consciousness, he could completely spiritualize the experience. Correct? So, na sochati na kankshati doesn't mean that devotee is a stone, he doesn't have feelings, he's like, no, not like that. Neither we aspire to be like that. Right? We are human beings and we want to remain a human being, but Guru Napi na vichalyate, the impediments will not block their material or spiritual contribution. And then there is a bhakta becomes prasanna manaso, fearlessness. And this fearlessness can be very easily attained by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogatah Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. By practicing Bhakti Yoga, especially chanting the holy names and studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one becomes fearless and joyful. Evam prasanna manaso. And thus one is completely liberated from the material world. And Lord Shiva, therefore, advising everybody to participate in Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga and thus become really liberated. Now, Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful analogy for the nails. How the nails, the transcendental light which is emanating from the nails, how it is destroying all the darkness in the heart of a devotee. So, here Prabhupada quotes this verse, Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That, of course, this verse is used to indicate the spiritual master, glorify spiritual master, and Supreme Lord is also ultimate spiritual master, Vande Krishnam Jagat Gurum. So this applies to the ultimate spiritual master, that is the Supreme Lord also, one who has unflinching faith in both the Supreme Lord and the devotee, that is the spiritual master, Yasyadeve Parabhaktir. All the real imports of Vedic knowledge will be revealed to such a personality. Text 53. So we are at 744. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One small question.
Yeah, yes.
You were saying about material attachment and spiritual attachment. So we can identify this attachment only by the action because both lamented badly. Though they responded differently, both lamented very badly, and it still looks like, I mean, it is. I do understand you were saying about how they responded. So otherwise, it will not be easy to identify material or spiritual attachment. My other question is like, whatever we have for our family members is generally for me at least material. So how do we
No,
come
not necessarily. So Arjuna's attachment to Abhimanyu was spiritual attachment, right? And as you rightly identified, whether the attachment is material or spiritual is phalena parichayate, where that attachment is leading to. That attachment led to one of the fiercest war in Mahabharata, right? The next day, one time, someday we will have. I think we did had one class on, Arjuna. Look, the fight he had the next day to kill Jayadratha is one of the phenomenal fights in in those 18 days and in the entire history of Mahabharata. No such parallel. There is no parallel to this fight. The way the fight Arjuna had later. Only parallel was the one day earlier, the way Abhimanyu fought. So it is action. And in terms of lamentation, of course one has to lament. Why? Because every devotee This was answered by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj extremely beautifully. Why a devotee laments for a loss when he knows that the body is material, soul is spiritual, the soul has gone back home, back to Godhead, and all the philosophy? Because every devotee reveals a particular connection to the Supreme Lord, right? That every devotee comes in our life with a particular connection with the Supreme Lord. Like, if you say, of course, we aspire their association for the longest period, eternal association, but just look at the different personalities they come from. Like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. The access which one will get to the mercy of Lord Krishna through his lectures, through his persona, through his personality, is definitely a unique access, right? Similarly, the another person, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, very different mood, mellow, persona, the grace, the access. And so, why a devotee laments is that devotee knows, of course, these personalities are eternal, they are situated in Krishna Leela, and we are going to meet them when we go back home, back to Godhead. But now, access to Krishna's mercy through these devotees and access to their own association is missed. We are missing two things. The association of such a wonderful devotee. In Pune, we had Hargirish Satyavati Mataji. What a personality. People have not seen only such a personality. Those who become devotee now, sometimes, I really feel like that. These devotees will see, of course, there are very wonderful devotees now also, but they will never see such a personality as Satyavati Mataji. They will hear about. Okay, okay, but how much you can capture by hearing, than you can capture by directly associating with such personalities. Different aura, different, she was just always completely different. Only personality who could stand in front of Radhesham Prabhu and say, "No, Prabhuji," and in such a loving sister, elder sister way, that the Jugalbandi between Radhesham Prabhu and Satyavati Mataji was, it was worth all. It had a different relish altogether. So now it is gone. So do we not know that she is the soul, she is in the spiritual world and everything else? Of course we know, but still a devotee laments. So the lamentation is glorified also for a devotee, right? We have that entire song, Jayanilo Premadhana, Pashani Kutibo Matha, Anale Pashibo, Gauranga Guneraniti Kotha Gile Pabo. So lamentation is glorified, but it should lead to right action. And then it shows the attachment is spiritual.
Yeah,
and we about our family members, of course, it is a spiritual attachment, right? So we take care of our family members as Krishna's family, ICO, in care of. And that's a perfect family.
yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.